Shout out to everyone. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. We are live today. Shout out to everyone. Let's get it started. Let's get the chat room going. Let's get it going today as we talk about the demand for masculinity. The demand for masculinity. And you know, I probably need to do something on demand for femininity because that is definitely what's missing now. There needs to be a demand for masculinity and a demand for femininity. There are the two factors that are missing in our state of the union where we are at. The demand for masculinity and the demand for femininity. When there's something for demand, it has to be both. So join us today as we begin talking about this today. It's become accessible. I absorbed so much information during the course of the day preparing for the show. And what I realized is that there is a demand for masculinity, but if we were to secretly really be honest about it, there's really a demand for femininity. Let's be very clear. There's a demand that men are placing on women for what? Femininity. And if we were to look at the course of social media, we look at Jada Pickett, if we look at Monique, if we look at some other ones, we realize that what's really, even though I put a demand for masculinity, there really is a demand for femininity. There's a demand for women to once again embrace their femininity. And this goes on to what I'm going to teach about today. For women to embrace what's going on, beautiful animated, for women to embrace their femininity once again. That is not that it's is not muttered or muddied with masculinity. And what happens is because there's such a demand for masculinity, I think what happens is we have a lot of people who are fake masculine. Or let me say it again. Let me say it how I really want to say it. We have a lot of women who are fake being masculine and not being in their true femininity. So the real demand, if we really look at it, is for women to be in their femininity. When are the women going to shed what's going on, Way? When are the women going to shed the cloak of masculinity? When are women, and that this is not a particular group, but women in general, what's going on, William, are going to share their masculinity. You cannot no longer use the excuse of, I had to work. I was a single mother. They gave us what's going on, brother. You can't, there's no longer that excuse anymore. The rug has been pulled under from this fake masculinity that women have been propagating through social media, through relationships. When are women really going to embrace, without fear or trepidation, their femininity? Trust me, this is no attack against women. This is not bashing women. This is just the truth. Even though I say this is a demand for masculinity, really the real question is why there's such a demand for masculinity, because we're tired of seeing this fake masculinity from women. We are tired of seeing this fake masculinity from women. And so now this is a cesspool of what? What's masculinity? Now we got to define what masculinity is. When 10, 20, 30 years ago, there was no different. You didn't need to define masculinity. You know what it was. But when now that the waters have become muddied, we have to now, from the mud, pull out, this is what masculinity is, and this is what masculinity is not. And many times, those who are in fake masculinity always have a problem and try to throw darts and say anytime a man stands up in his masculinity, that is toxic masculinity. You see how it works? So the real question, yes, it's a demand for masculinity, but there's equally a demand for femininity from women. There's a demand for men being in their masculine. And so what happens is we have a cesspool. It's nasty. Cesspool is a sewage of fake masculinity. And who's been eating from the cesspool of this fake masculinity are women, and also some of the men who are raised by these women who have been masculine. So anytime you say something contrary to what they like, they get into their what? Femininity or their fake masculinity. So it's so important to have this conversation, because if we do not have this conversation, what's going to happen is what men are going to do, and this is going to lead me to what I heard yesterday was by T.S. Johnson, something that really disturbed me. Why there needs to be this separation of what masculinity is, and there needs to be a spotlight on what femininity is. I heard something, and I don't know the full story, but I heard enough of it that it disturbed me. Is that the reality of it is that men, and especially Black men in the United States, don't have a voice. There will be no manosphere. There will be no sector of this if men had a voice. And we realizing that even in the political arena, it is the men's voice are second to none. The man's rights don't even count. When men say, when men say, this is what we're doing for the community, we include women. But when women say we're doing something for a community, they exclude men, and it's strictly for women. Not all the time, but a lot of the times. Look at the track record. Anytime a man stands up, he's thinking about the overarching protecting the community. That's true masculinity. This is for the children and for the women. But when some women get into that position, it's only to empower other women. It's quiet in the chat room because I think y'all don't want to talk about it. And so what happens is, I've said this on the live I did a couple of weeks ago, men are voting with their feet. They're deciding that since you want us to be invisible in your political arena, you don't want us to say something in the political arena, you don't want us to say anything when it comes to relationships, you don't want to say anything when it comes to jobs. Men are saying we're going to vote with our feet, and we are leaving. We are going our own way. Since you want to be masculine, you got it. You can have it. Let's keep it real. Keep it 100. Thank you. Nah, let's talk about this. This is real. See, peace to you, peace, brother, peace. Let me talk about this fact. The so-called Black voice in America is a whisper. LeBron is a billionaire, but told to shut up and dribble a message. Right? It's a whisper. And when men don't feel that their voice is being heard or respected, guess what's going to happen? Men are going to do one or two things. They're going to walk. I've watched the political, and this is not to be political, but I've watched the political landscape. And this is not against all women who are in politics. So please don't come on there talking about, I'm not like that, and don't say that about this. But anytime you question a female politician on what she is doing for the community, she would say, I am empowering women. It was never about, let me reach back and help our brothers. Let me reach back and help the men. Because the overarching theme or thinking or narrative in their mind, when men had it all this time, they should be able to do it for their own, on their own. I'm talking to somebody, whether you like it or not. Some sound glass, right? I'm talking to someone. The overarching, what's going on, Trav? What's going on, Alfie? The overarching theme is anytime a man, a woman is in a political stand, they're normally going to be fighting for women and not for the overarching for men and women. And the man's voice is completely silent. And so when the man's voice becomes silent and you don't think men have rights and that we only are utilities in your world, guess what men are going to do? They are going to go their own way. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to face it or not. And I'm not the guy to talk about, downing women, women ain't right, women shouldn't do this. No. But if you for the community, shout out to you, Jonathan W. If you for the community for real, it should include both of us. Classic example was when Ice Cube was talking to the women of Fox Soul. And they said, I'm reaching out to the Democrats. They didn't respond. I reached out to the Republicans. And what happened? They reached out to me. They were more concerned with what? He said, I'm doing this for the Black community. Guess what they did? What about the Black woman? The Black community includes the Black woman. When did the Black woman become separate from the Black community? Somebody please tell me. This is demand for masculinity. Trust me, I'm on topic. I'm on code. When did that become separate? So what they did was they went constantly after Ice Cube on what he was saying. That's why I'm saying this is cesspool of fake masculinity. When are the women going to stand up and be in their femininity? This is not to say that women don't have rights and don't have a voice. So don't come up here with that lottie-dottie talking that crap. I don't want to hear it. The truth of the matter is most of the men have already left the room while they're standing in the room. Most of the men are going to other countries where they are getting respected, they're getting honored, they're getting the things that they need, and not from the women inside of the community or in this country. This is just the reality, because the demand for masculinity over there is appreciated, it's honored. And when men feel that they are not honored and not taken seriously, guess what's going to happen? They ain't going to say nothing. They're not going to argue. They're not going to debate. They're not going to fight you. They're going to just vote with their presence not there. So when you hear this whole narrative, where are the good men? Where are the good men at? I don't see no men. The men ain't no good men like they used to be. You have inadvertently taken the place of men. In the military, they have a term. It's called man stand down. A lot of women, you need to take the cloak off of trying to be masculine. Your demand for you to be masculine is no longer needed. It was never needed in the first place. Your demand let me say that. Your demand for you to be masculine was never needed. We tolerated it, but we don't need it. That's why I'm saying that, and don't come on here, please don't come up here talking about we had to do what we had to do.
Execute Order 66.
We had to do what we had to do because there was no man. It was a man when you slept with him. So there's no excuse. What happened is you got to understand the social construct that took place is to put you in the position of the man so that you will say you don't need a man. And you got to understand, you men have been pushed out slowly out of the plane and saying that we don't need you to be the pilot anymore. You have been pushed out of the plane of life and is saying that you are not needed anymore. You are the silent. If I was a given, we talk about the silent generation back in the 30s. I think it's 30s and 40s. Guess what you are right now? The men, particularly black men, you are the silent voices that are who are screaming in the jails, who are screaming on the streets, who are screaming around you, but nobody can hear you. That's why there's a demand for masculinity. That is the reason why they hated Kevin Samuel, because he stood up and had a voice. Whether you agree with how he said it or not, get over it. But there are so many men who are screaming inside while they're smiling at you, while they're making love to you, while they're going to work, while they're taking care of children, while they're doing whatever they're doing. They're screaming inside. They're hollering. They are yelling at the top of their lungs for someone to hear them. You know why? Because they're tired of this fake masculinity that has been propagated, especially first from women and from the society and the social media. They are screaming inside because they want to be free. But if they be free, if they let that voice out, will they get the respect? Who will listen to them? Or will they say, go back inside? Who told you to get out? They realize that the jail cellars of their lives have been fake masculinity that's been coming from women. And let me say the main people that has been that. These fake masculine men. They are the most dangerous because their goal is to keep you in line, is to keep you from getting out and expressing yourself and getting out and walking in your masculinity. They always looking on how they can get back on the breast. They're always looking on how they can get back and suck on the breast of their mama. Now, it may not be their mother, but it may be their girlfriend. It may be the person, woman that they're living with. They're always looking on how they can get back on the breast. They are the most dangerous. I'm not talking so, yeah, we can talk about the female cloaking herself in masculinity, but the real danger is the men who are cloaking themselves in fake masculinity because they are still sucking on the nipple. This might be too much for you on 12 o'clock, 12:30 in the morning. This might be too much, but this is the reality that we are facing. And these guys are dangerous. They comment on my posts. I see them, but they're dangerous. They don't realize they still have this. You ever been around a baby? When I hold my sons, and you can go and try to look at them and goo, and you can smell the milk on their breath. It's the same thing with these guys. You can still smell the milk on their breath because they still have Similacs on their tongue. They're the most dangerous because they're always cupcaking because they have not stepped into their true masculinity. They have not stepped into who they really are. They have not stepped into what the demand is for masculinity. I've watched it too many times. I watched it on YouTube. I watched it on multiple places. And what's going to happen is if men's voices are grown silent and they're grown mute, men are going to do one or two things. Men are going to do one or two things. Men are going to do one or two things. Men are going to do one or two things. Men are going, and I need to say this, and I want you to hear this. Men are going to walk away. Men by nature are going to go. Humans by nature, a dog by nature. Let me get down to the lowest denominator because y'all don't want to get it. A dog by nature is going to go where it is appreciated and where it is fed. If a dog knows not to go to an owner that's beating him, that's kicking him, feeding him 2 morsels, how much more does a man No, not to go where he's not appreciated, where he's not loved, where he's not cared for. I hear you women in this ear. Whether men do the same thing. Wait a minute, sister. We need to question you. Are you in your femininity? Are you in your masculinity? Are you so rough and tough and Afro puffs that you are no good for no man? There is a demand for masculinity. Now, and you look at the thumbnail, I use Michael Jordan. Thank you to the editor for putting that in there. With Michael Jordan, when he was on the court, and this goes to the next point, he was able, masculinity, because his demand for it, actually grows or flourish in the midst of challenge. Let me say that again. True masculinity grows in the midst of challenge. Let me make this very clear. Not challenging women. Let me get that clear, because I think it's gonna go over somebody's head. So y'all gonna think, oh, the women like, oh, I can be challenging to him. No. Not challenging difficult women, but challenges in life that cause him to grow and strive for more. Masculinity grows in the fields or in the ground that is fertile with the proper amount of challenges. Not to destroy him, but to grow, but to pull forth, to pull back the seed that's inside of him so that he can be a plant that many can eat from. The problem is why there's such a demand for masculinity is because a lot of men have not been challenged. If you've been part of this speaker class up to this point, or even a couple of days, or even the first day, you should be challenged to be a better version of yourself. I'm in the midst. Let us be very transparent. I'm in the midst. I want to do something. It is a challenge. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know where the money's going to come from or how I'm going to do it. But I know that I have to do it. I am not happy at this place. I am not happy at this place or with this junction and where I'm at. So it has to be a challenge to stretch me, to pull forth the masculine man that I am, or the next version of who I am. Then you have the stench, the smell, the aroma of true masculinity and the demand for it. See, a true masculine man only wants a true feminine woman. I keep saying it. I said it yesterday, but let me to just stretch. A man grows in his ability to be challenged. You should be challenged to do a better version of yourself. You should learn, if it's a new language, if it's a new culture. Yesterday, I was watching, shout out to I can't think of what his name is. I got to look at his channel. I was watching this man being challenged. This black man went over to Pakistan. Challenge. He went there and the security at the airport stopped him. What are you doing here? Why are you here? What's your nature? How long are you going to be here? Where's your visa? They challenged him. Once he finished that challenge, he was outside the airport. Pay attention. Black man in Pakistan. He got out of the airport. He was a little shaken up by the challenge. Shout out what's going on, Evil Rebirth. He was shaken by the challenge. And then a group of Pakistanis came around him and asked him, what's going on? How are you? Where are you from? The first thing, he made sure he honored their language and honored their culture by saying, Assalamu alaikum. And they responded back to them. He made sure he honored their country by acknowledging that Pakistan was a safe and beautiful place. They talked to him and then they got him a taxi. Pay attention. He got him a taxi. They made sure that he got the right taxi that wouldn't take advantage of him. He was challenged. Then when he got to his destination and met with his friends, whatever the case may be, guess what happened? He found out everything he heard about Pakistan was in the media was completely erroneous. He realized that people were humble. He realized that people were genuinely loving and concerned and warm. He went to a couple places and greeted the men. The men were glad that you wanted to see him. All the people wanted to take a picture of him because they ain't never seen a black man in Pakistan. They was like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Can we take a picture? They were all respectful of him when they wanted to take a picture from him. Then he went to go eat somewhere. So he got some food or whatever the case may be. And one of the people that was following him paid for his food. Then he went to a convent where women or young girls are there to learn. They spoke perfect English, probably better than me. They had a grasp on the world. They asked questions. They always addressed them as sir. He went in there. He talked to them. They sang. They talked. And guess what happened? It was a challenge for him. He was from London, parents from Africa. But this is the thing I want you to get. He took on the challenge of stretching out of his comfort zone of where he was at to grow as a man. Think about the stories he can tell his grandkids. Hey, I was a black man and went over to Pakistan and I met some wonderful people. One guy took him on as being his son. They were all, one guy begged him, come stay the night. Come stay the night at my place. We will treat you good. Come stay the night. One guy had an air gun. He wanted to show him the air gun and how it worked. See, a lot of times, men, you need to be challenged to get out of your comfort zone so that your man from masculinity can be seen. You're too comfortable on where you're at. You're too comfortable being around the same people. You're too comfortable. Now, this brings me back to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the epitome. He's the epitome of what challenging is. He was a man that would challenge you on the court. There's a story I think I talked about Gary Payton of saying something to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan just laughed and made sure he ate those words at the end of the game. I think about halftime. He challenged other men to be great. He was in the gym when other men were not in the gym. He was in, and when they were doing halftime, he's running, he's doing whatever. Most guys are too comfortable. So your pure masculinity has not been challenged, or the demand for it has not came up to level. You're right here when the demand for it is up here because you have not been challenged. As an example of this man, I really need to find him because I really want to give him a shout out because he really did a great job. It really touched me just looking at this guy go over to there. Let me give his shout out because it was really good. His name is Black Man That Travels. That's his channel. Black Man That Travels. Black Man That Travels. That Travels. Excellent breakdown of what it. Right. So same thing, like I would now go back, like you said, with Jordan. See, what happens is, you need to pay attention to this, men. Every man needs a Jordan in their life. Demand for masculinity. Every man needs a Jordan in your life that's going to challenge you to be a better version of yourself. I think he said when it came, they wanted him to go over to, or something was going on with him and Isaiah Thomas. He said, either I stay or Isaiah got to go. Challenge to be better. If all you come on YouTube is for you to get the breast milk, you in the wrong location. And if all you want to do is for everybody to color you and agree with you that women ain't crap, you in the wrong location. And if all you want to do is to beat your chest that this is all I want to do, guess what happened? You're in the wrong location. You need a man that's going to challenge you to be the best version of yourself. You need a man to say, no, you know what you're doing ain't right. What you're doing ain't right. It ain't working. Because what happens is you settle down and begin to get weak. I had to challenge my own self this morning. Got up, did my meditation, whatever the case may be. Cool, wonderful. I had to make sure I did at least 100. I did not 100. I did 50 push-ups. I had to do 50 push-ups. Why? I have to challenge myself. I got to go back and run. I got to go back to a called Euclid Creek and go back and run. Somewhere you need to challenge yourself. You will become lazy. In the military, what they do is if you do not go up to rank, move up the ranks, they're going to challenge you. Why are you not going up the rank? What are you not doing? They're going to challenge you to go to the next level. Why? Because they know that in the midst of challenge, it brings out the best version of yourself. See, you remember that, right? Right. You remember that dream team situation. I remember that. Either me or that. Yep. See, you need people like that going to challenge you. Not no consequence. Women gonna do this. Women gonna do that. I mean, you can get out of here. Get out of here. That's not gonna cut it. But once I met, like I was challenged. Shout out to Jono. Challenged by Jono. Okay, what you're doing is good, but let's get it better. Okay, let's get it tighter. Let's get this together. Let's do this. Okay, the audio ain't right. Challenge. Let's go get challenged. You have to get challenged. I think the challenge, I remember John the W. Shout out to you, and I want to highlight you because you said something. There was a challenge that you put yourself on that you, for 30 days, you were going to hit the gym. See, I remember the challenge. Your demand for masculinity is tied into who's challenging you. Michael Jordan had the ability to challenge men, to challenge the best version. Kobe, as much as he idolized Michael Jordan, he knew that Michael Jordan was not an easy person to deal with and that he was going to be challenged. There's going to be a challenge and there was going to be competition. You need a challenge. And remember what I'm saying. I didn't say a challenging woman or a difficult woman. So don't go into that space. Oh, you're saying get a woman that's going to challenge me, who's going to be difficult. You're saying that get a woman that's going to just say anything. No. I'm talking about a challenge in yourself. There's a demand for masculinity. If you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby mentality, right? That's why it's so important. I want to put it out there. As today, like the man, black man that traveled, his challenge was to get out there and go. What's on Joe Blast? To go out there and actually go into a country that most people are feared to go. I'm not telling you to go to Pakistan. I have a friend personally that's from Pakistan, so I can't wait to share the video with them. Why? Because this world will keep you in the glass ceiling and telling you what you can and cannot do, where you can and cannot go, where the world is your oyster, waiting for you to go and experience the jewels of life, the stories that are untold from you because you have not stepped out of your block. I have friends who have never left the block, who have never left St. Clair, because I'm going to call it out, who have never left Euclid, who have never left out of town, only to visit, and to come back. They've never left anywhere. I got friends like that. Shout out to them. But when are you going to step out and actually expand your horizons as a man? Allow your demand for masculinity to be first on you. So let me say this. The demand for masculinity can't come from on the outside of you. The demand of masculinity must come from within. I am a mirror to you right now to put a demand on you for your masculinity, not the woman. Because you get mixed up. You start putting your masculinity out there because you want to get women. Wrong place. If you doing it because it's demand for masculinity because you want to get more women, you in the wrong location and you're going to lose. Let me say that. If you are doing this demand on masculinity, yeah, you right, LDA, yeah, pimping. You right, so I can get some more. I'm gonna get more women like that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna put a demand on my masculinity. Yeah, I'm gonna get more women, and more women. Wrong spot. You're doing it for the wrong intention and the wrong purpose. You should be doing it for you. You should be doing it so you are the best version of yourself. Women know. Let me give you some game. Women know when you're trying to do it to try to impress them. When you're trying to do it to try to get comfy with them so you can cozy up with them. They can peep that out, and guess what they say? The first thing they say is, "Got him. Got him. He's done." She sticks a fork in you and you are done, because she realized that the real objective of why you doing everything is so that you can impress her. And at the end of the day, no woman wants a man who's always trying to impress her. She wants a man she can look up to and say, you know what? He's such an I'm so impressed by him because he is doing his 1-2. Peep the game, see the difference. You're not doing it so you can get women. You doing this because you want to be the best version of yourself. She comes along and say, "Ooh, I like what you're doing." How the first thing she want to say, she's going to sing Brandy. I want Brandy or what's one Brandy or Monica. I want to be down. That's what she need to be saying. If she's not saying that, you need to expand your horizons and do more with your life. Some of you guys have the most boring, most mundane, lackluster lives. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't expand your horizon. You wearing the same clothes you wear when you was in the 5th grade. Wearing the same tennis shoes you wore. You were in the same tennis shoes because you haven't been challenged. Going the same place, going to the same bar, drinking the same drink, smoking the same cigar, doing the same thing with the same people, doing the same thing and looking the same way. You ain't cut your hair, you ain't shaved your beard, you ain't grown a beard, you ain't did nothing to advance who you are. There's a demand on your masculinity. And it's not just externally, it is internally also. When are you going to step up? Let me be the Michael Jordan in your life and call you to competition. Because there's a challenge and promise you, those who reach great heights, men who reach great heights in life, who accomplish much, know the power of being challenged. Let me circle back around what I said earlier with the political climate, especially with Black men in the United States. Let me say this very carefully. If there is no code that's happening and men are starting to sniff out, yeah, Alfie did Sky Drive. If Black men are feeling or thinking, let me say that correctly, are thinking that we don't matter to you in the political arena, and you only out to be Black women, you only out to be in the political arena just for you, you got to be careful. You got to be careful when you do that. Because if Black men begin to galvanize together, they'll shut down a lot of Black women's political career, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying that's thing that should have happened, but I am saying you need to consider the Black men not just as your gopher in your political campaign, but you need to figure out what are the real issues that Black men and men are going through. Because if not, the pendulum will switch And when it switches, baby, woe unto the ones who have forgot that men have things that they go through, that there are issues and things that they need to talk about. It's going to be a bad day in the political landscape. We've seen that with the last election with the presidents. There was a great split, and I'm going to leave that alone. But there was a great split. And there was a great trickery. And I'm going to leave that alone. But we need to think about that. That's why I am 100%. This is a man's channel that had women on it. So I want you to be very clear. This is not to bash women, put women down. Women ain't crap and this and that. Normally, those women don't even come over here. They know not to. Oh, they listen to a minute like, oh, we better go. We thought we was going to use witchcraft on him. We better go. They know not to come over here talking that sugar honey iced tea because they have not dealt with the reason why. Let me say something. See, women know where places they can get that off on, but also they know where they run into masculinity. That they know when they run into masculinity because they know they're in their pseudo masculine or their fake masculinity, and they can't buckle up to it. Their feelings get into the way. See, they could come with that rah-rah and all this kind of stuff. But when they come across a man and say, hey, sit down, be quiet, don't you move. When I speak, you speak. See, women know when they come across a man. See, it's not in what you say, it's who you are on the inside. Women know where they can get that off on. Guess what they know? They know to leave because they know that at the end of the day, their butt's going to be handed over to them. The same for those guys who want to come with the rah, 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 rah. They know at the end of the day, it's dangerous to go into a den of lions who haven't ate in a couple days. It is dangerous to go into a lion's den with men who have not ate in a couple days. And they're looking at you and you talking all this yiggity yang yang, blah, 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 blah. You will have your butt handed to you. So they know what channels and what places they can go to get that off on. Because at the end of the day, and this is the thing. And I want to break this down right quick. Why there's the demand for masculinity. They're dealt with, a lot of women have dealt with women who have been masculine. And so they go with their presumption of masculinity with each other. So they think if I do that with a man, I'm going to overdog him. I'm going to overdo him. I'm going to muscle him out. But when they come across a man, they say, you need to be quiet, sit down, and don't you move, and don't you say another word. And if you say another word, there's going to be consequences that you ain't going to be able to deal with. Guess what's going to happen? She'll pipe herself down. She'll get into place. And the same thing goes for some of these dudes. Because we got a lot of guys who are very emotional. Let me know in the chat room. Have you noticed that you've seen a lot of men that are very emotional? Let me put a number 2 in the chat room. You see a lot of men who are just overly emotional. They're like they just took a whole cup of emotions that morning. Like they took a whole bunch of emotions. You know, it's a lot of. Let me know in the value. You've seen a lot of men that are just overly emotional. I mean, like they just took a whole thing. Appreciate that. They took a whole glass. And guess what? If the man is overly emotionally, how can the woman really be in her emotions then? She has no other choice but to step into her masculinity. She has no other choice to step into her masculinity because all the men, all the men are being emotional. They crying. And let me say this, because I'm going to clear it up because this is the man for masculinity. 2 for the 10 power and 1 for the one. Let me say this. Don't you think that women are in the clouds watching When these men go back and forth on YouTube, on Instagram, when they go back and forth on different forums and they say, they're going back and forth, don't you think these women are watching? They're in the clouds. They ain't saying nothing. And they're watching. I never deal with that man. That man never will ever get me. I would never talk to that man. Ooh, boy. Ain't he something? He weak. What happens if we're in the street and guess what happens? What happens if we're in the street and then he getting his emotions and I got to be the man to beat the other person up? Ooh, it's a lot of women watching in the clouds who don't say nothing, but watch how men interact. They watch how men conduct themselves on these social media streets and watch how they go back and forth. And if you watch me on any forum, social media forum, very rarely do you see I get stirred up. I'll look, I'll smile, I'll shake my head. But when I speak, I've spoken. When I speak, I have spoken. I'll listen. Yep. You're great. Wonderful. They'll go back. And I watch these guys, and it's healthy to debate. I love the debate. But at the same time, realize that, you know what? When I speak, I have spoken. And if you don't like it, oh well. There's a demand for masculinity. There's a demand for women to step out of their masculinity. Let me say that again. And I probably need to change the show tomorrow and be that. There's a demand for women to step out of their masculinity. When are you going to take your Timberlands off? When are you going to put on your stilettos? Figuratively and eternally. You can't come with that excuse. I had to do what I had to do. No more. Not here, sister. When are you going to take the Timbs off? When you going to start moving like a man? When you going to take the Timbs off? There is a demand. Let me say this and I got to go. There is a demand really for femininity. If you agree that there is a demand for femininity, put a number 3 in the chat room. If you agree in this United States, around the world, that there is a demand for femininity, put a 3 in the chat room. Put a 3 in the chat room. There's a demand for femininity. Let me switch hats. Do you agree that there is a demand, a real demand for femininity? Not this masculine stuff, but a real demand for femininity. Are men starving because they want to see they want femininity? Do you agree that there is a demand for femininity like never before? Even though I might have to put that tomorrow for Women's Day, Wednesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. There is really a demand. Not what you see from Lori. Femininity, let me say something because I need to talk about it just a little bit. Femininity is not just in what she wears. It's not just in what she wears. Femininity is not caught up in the color of her lipstick. Femininity is not in either one of those. Femininity is not caught up in the perfume that she wears from Saks Fifth Avenue, Chanel, or whatever it is. Femininity has become such that is lost in translation that very few can even find it. There really is a demand for feminine women. And whoa, let me say this. Y'all, if y'all want me to go to LDA after dark, I'm gonna say something. If you want me to go to let me if you want me to go to LDA after dark, I'm gonna say this, and I gotta cut this one. This might be too much. I'm going to LDA after dark. You want me to go to LDA After Dark with this one? Let me know. Thank you, William. Yep. Once a man leaves, you want me to go to LDA After Dark? He said, for sure. Go. If you want me to go to LDA After Dark on this one, because I'm going to say something. It's going to be sort of tough, but it's right. Let me know if you want me to go to LDA After Dark with this, what I'm about to say. Speak. You want me to go to LDA After Dark about this demand for masculinity and femininity? Is something going to happen. Once you get it, you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. You want me to go to LDA After Dark? You want me to tell it? Let me tell. I need a couple more people to say something, or I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to put the music on, put the elevator music on. Okay. Y'all listening. Okay. When a woman is in her femininity, and this is going to make so much sense, and I'm going to go, I got to go after this. When a woman is in her femininity, the man has no problems saluting the situation. Pay attention to what I said. When the woman is in her femininity, the man has no problem saluting the situation. He's at full attention. He is not at half staff. He is at full staff. Please catch what I'm saying without saying it, because I'm saying it. When the woman it is something, when a man sees a woman who is feminine, it does something to his lower nature. It begins to activate. It begins to stand to attention when he sees a woman in her femininity. He's not at half staff. He's at full staff. The flag is waving. It does something to, thank you. It's the opposite of it. Yes. He's like, oh my God. It's something that happens. He's like, wait a minute. There's a woman. Her sundress is flowing in he's automatically, it activates his launching system. He's like, he's like, Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. We got a problem, Houston. Everything is T100. He's automatically ready to deposit his seeds into the future. When a man sees a woman in her femininity, he thinks, how would that be? Not only does he think, how would that be? He thinks, I'm going to already enjoy it. And I'm sitting back in the sun like, yeah, that's some good femininity. When a man sees that, when a man sees a woman, that's why you think. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. This game, that's why you think. When a man goes to the other countries, he sees feminine women, automatically he's ready to do some march. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, he's ready to go. He's marching. But equally so, let me help the women out. Women, if you want me to help you out, let me know in the chat room. If you want me to help you out in the chat room, let me know. Women, if you want me to help you out, let me know in the chat room. Because I said this is a man channel that women are here. Women, if you want me to help you out, let me know in the chat room. Let me know in the chat room. Women, if you want me to help. If it's just 2 women, let me know if you want me to help you out. Oh, help a sister out. Help a sister out. Help a sister out. Okay, they say help a sister out. All right, help a sister out. Okay. Equally so, when a woman sees a man that's in his masculinity. Let me say that again. Equally so, when a woman sees a man that's in his masculinity, suited, booted, confident, know where he's going, leading, don't be moved by what's going on around him, not emotionally. It does something in her physical body, in her psyche. See things, oh my God, I know I shouldn't feel this kind of way, but I feel like I want to participate in some extracurricular activity because this man is so masculine. How can I? Why is the ocean want to overflow? I don't know, understand why is flooding in here? Who cut the water off? Why somebody turn the water off? When a woman sees a man, that's why a woman likes a man in a suit or in a uniform, because it's authority. It does something inside of a woman when she sees a man in his masculinity. Not the one that's cupcaking and sipping on stuck on her breast, but a man that's in his masculinity. Hey, what I tell you, move this way. Let's go. It does something inside of her. She does, okay, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, boo, I'm with you. Do you understand, man? There's a demand for your masculinity. You don't have to run much game when you stand in your masculinity and you saying this is the way we going. If you don't go, hey, see you later. You need game, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying. But there's such a demand for masculinity that women would jump over fences, travel hours, and go through storms, do anything because you're in your masculinity. Because it's such a demand for it. They will make cookies, pies, cakes, whatever dessert you like. They'll fry some chicken. They'll bring you over Chipotle. They will do all kind of things for you when you in your masculinity and your masculine frame. See the women saying, facts, LDA, you facts, you telling the truth, you saluted. Do you understand? You won't get that back kind of talk from her because she know, no, baby. She'll tell her girlfriends, he did say something I didn't like, but I know he a man's man. That's what they tell their girlfriend. He's a man's man. When they really want to, they don't do that because you're in your masculinity, masculine frame. They're like, oh, what kind of cookies you like? She'll come over with a whole thing of cookies for you. What's your favorite? What's your favorite dish? She even brought your favorite dish over because you in your masculine frame, you in your masculinity. Do you understand? Is when you leave your masculine frame and your masculine self that women say, I guess I got to pull out. I got to be the man around here. There's a demand for men being in their masculine. That's why they go crazy over Evers Ever and whoever else. Think about it. They don't get excited over Will Smith because we know who's the masculine one in that relationship. Nor do they get excited over Monique's husband because we know who's the masculine one in that relationship. That is the reason why they like the bad boy, is because he's in his masculine frame and he's not taking her sugar, honey, iced tea. Even though it's not always good with the bad boy, they know that I may not ever cross this bad boy, or my butt is going to be handed to me. Masculine frame, masculinity in demand. Do you understand what women will do? They would do hopscotch, run through hoops. They would do things they would not normally do. They're going to be like, girl, they'll get on the phone. Where you at, girl? I'm outside his house. I don't even know why I'm outside his house. You outside his house? Yeah, I'm outside his house, and I got him flowers. Because you're in your masculine frame. But equally so, pull it back. Reel it back. Equally so when a woman is in her femininity, a man begin to look like this. Yeah. He see that dress. If you have to be the man in a relationship, it's not staying. I'm not staying. I can do bad by myself in a relationship. I want to take care of if I want to be taken care of. Correct. I'm telling you, I promise you. But equally so, a man loves a woman that's feminine. It's something when a man sees a woman that's feminine. He wants to, yeah. It's not just the sexual part I want you to get. I want you to get that he wants to be around it because it's the opposite of his nature. It's a turn on. But let me stop. I didn't went to LDA of the dark. Let me stop. Let me stop. If you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed what I said today, leave a comment after the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell someone else about the thinking class. I didn't share something that I normally don't even share, but it's the truth. Y'all fighting your own nature, trying to be like the other nature. I don't understand that. You fighting your own nature, trying to be like the other nature. You're fighting your own. You are fighting your own nature as a woman, trying to be like the man. Men, you're fighting your own nature as a man, trying to be like the woman. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And you know what really turns you on. I kid you not, I know me. I don't know about nobody else. I like a woman that's feminine, sexy, soft, got that sway. Voice is soft, not like, hey, how you doing? I'm sorry, I ain't dealing with no woman that got a deeper voice to me. Hey, what's going on? And I know some women got, whatever the case may be, they women, but their voice a little too deep for me. You get on the phone like, can I speak to Cheryl? Yeah, this Cheryl. What? You just woke up or what? Oh, this is my regular voice. Nah, it ain't gonna work here. But anyway, this is Lawrence D. Adams. I'm out of here. This is the little LDA After Dark. But I'm just saying, y'all think it's a demand for masculinity. Baby, it's a demand for femininity. I'm going to tell the editor today, put up tomorrow. We're going to talk about the demand for femininity. There is baby, there's a demand for femininity like never before. I thought it was a demand for masculinity, but it outweighs. It outweighs. I need a demand for femininity. Not no fake femininity. I mean real feminine. I mean women that just. I'm not saying simp for no woman that's being feminine. No, because it ain't gonna work because a woman gonna peep it out in the first place. But I'm saying it's something. That's why. Let me go before I leave. I gotta leave this before I gotta stop because I already thought of something. That is why men get stuck on Instagram models because the Instagram models showcase their femininity. Why do you think women always on the gram and always on this one? They may not show everything, but they show enough to get you to imaginate. Because she wants to showcase her body exuding femininity. She can have fully. I know a lady who was have her full garb on, Muslim garb, and her job on, and it's fit. Oh my God! I seen one yesterday. I was at work, and the lady walked past. She had on heels. She had the pants outfit with the hijab on, and she walked real slow, and the heels. So she was just moving. I said, I stopped who I was talking to, like, bro, did you see her? She was fully clothed, but her feminine essence was oozing out of her clothes. Her makeup was immaculate. She was unbothered about what was going on. She was sexy. So y'all think that y'all got to show your behind and show your breasts and show all that? That ain't it. This woman was. She had the hijab on. I was like, bruh, right there. Her breast was not insinuated or her behind, but it was something when she walked behind. I was like, like she said, it's by design. I was like, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Femininity is my superpower. I kid you not. She was fully clothed. Only her face was showing, and them heels was just click, click. click, 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 click. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was oozing off of her, and she was so unbothered. Mind you, there were other women in shorts and with nurse's outfit that was tight and all like that, but that woman caught my attention. I'm trying to give a heads up to some of the women in the chat room. That woman caught my attention. That woman, these women are the ones I have to approach just to appreciate. I mean, I was just sitting there like click. She was click, clicking, click, click. I was like, ooh, shoes master whole outfit. You can only see her face. But I was like, baby. I don't know who's calling me from Smithville, Ohio, but you know you're not have to be calling me right now. I was like, man. I was like, where's she at? Where's she at? I wanted to say, assalamu alaikum, sister. Assalamu alaikum. Woo. And mind you, there's all kind of women and all kind of nurses outfits and STNA outfits who was all tight and right and all like that. But baby, that woman right there, she caught the L's attention. And she was just looked so soft and so not just, and I know these women don't play. They will cut you in a minute. So don't get it wrong about it. Don't try to get it twisted. Baby, all of God's go. I'm telling you, she was, man. Whew, just me talking about it got me excited. Just thinking about it. Woo. Oh, but it's time to go. We got to go. Tomorrow we're going to talk about it. Peace and beer grease. Like, comment after the show. Go to YouTube, leave a comment after this so the algorithm say, hey, they're doing something over there. This is Lawrence D. Adams. We out of here. See you tomorrow. We're talking about tomorrow the demand for femininity. I'm out of here. So man, you would have seen her. You would have been like, you would have jumped off your bike. You would have jumped out of the airplane. That's how sexy she was. Yeah, right. Woo! I didn't know what to say to her. I didn't do the first thing to say. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Wa alaikum salam to you. Makeup, but she didn't even have a lot of makeup on. I couldn't even see her hair. Hair wasn't even an issue. Her hair wasn't even an issue. I didn't even care about the hair. But the way she was click-clacking down that hallway at work, baby, I tell you, almost made me, oh man. My sisters better learn from these other ladies. She was fully covered, Wade. She was, I know I gotta go. Wade, she was fully covered from head to toe. All I seen was her beautiful heels that she on. Her face was just out. That was it. Wade in her hands. Wade, she was fully covered. Oh, I gotta go. She was fully covered. Whew, boy. Gotta go.